Hey guys, I'm back with another video. I've gotten rank 1 3 times, reached Challenger in the last 10 years, as well as played 3 years in the LEC. This time I'll be covering Kaisa mechanics I haven't seen anyone coach yet. At least some of them. So if you're wondering what separates your Kaisa gameplay from the best, stay tuned and watch till the end. If you manage to implement all these mechanics I'm about to show you right now, your Kaisa will reach God level. Before we start, there is only one thing I would like to ask from you. If you like this type of content, please make sure to subscribe, like, or leave a comment. It really means the world to me. I also stream regularly on Twitch, so make sure to check that out as well. On to the video. One of the most important things for playing Kaisa, in my opinion, is having champions that give you access on the enemy backline. Think champions like Wukong, Pantheon, Twisted Fate, Ahri, Ornn. As long as I have a champion that goes in and can give me a passive mark, I'm fine playing Kaisa, even if my support picks an enchanter, which is usually not that good with Kaisa. You need to have an all-in mindset. If you are an ADC that has a passive playstyle, Kaisa might not be best suited for you. With Kaisa, you need to know your limits very well, and to get there, you need to limit test and die a lot first. Kaisa is a champion that has fairly weak laning due to her not being able to trade very effectively. However, her all-in is quite strong on the other hand. Therefore, her best pairings are champions that allow you to have all-in pressure on the enemy bot lane. Here are some draft examples where I would pick Kaisa and why. So in this first game, we already have 2 champions that are going in, so they want to commit. Enemy has Sivir, which is a good matchup for Kaisa, and enemy also has Assassin champions. And Kaisa does really well against Assassin champions because she can spot them in Invis, or she can peel herself really well, so good Kaisa angle here. In this draft, we have a jungler that goes in, can be jungle, can be a top laner, can be a support, right? We also have triple AD, means we can go solo AP, which is a really strong position for Kaisa right now. In the last draft, once again, I already know I have a jungler that will be jumping in that can initiate for me, and then he has Tristana, Talon, 2 champions that go in, so me having some sort of self peel helps me a lot. Q isolation. The most important thing to keep in mind whilst playing Kaisa is to try and consistently position yourself into angles where you can get an isolated Q on the target that you need to focus. In this clip, I'll flash forward to get an isolated Q, which in this case I probably didn't need to do, but I really wanted to kill. Also, similarly, in this clip, I'm always going to position myself on the side of the target I want to isolate. Not the best example, but you get the general gist of it. More on this later on the video. W usage. I think W usage makes or breaks an insane Kaisa player. The spell seems pretty simple, but the ways in which you can use it are limitless. In lane, your W is a poke spell. You want to go inside and outside of a bush, and once inside, immediately cast it so enemy doesn't see your casting animation and has a harder time to dodge it. Or you use the lane wall to hide your W. Later in the game, especially when you have upgraded your W, you always want to try and hide your W in the walls. Notice how impossible it is to see your W in walls, especially with the IG Kaisa skin, for example. Another super important mechanic for Kaisa is the flash W. This is super important for lane, because in most of your all-ins, your W will be the spell that you most of the times need to hit in order to win. And flash W pretty much guarantees you a 100% chance of it landing. Super important. Another thing that you can do with your W is to buffer it right before the CC, as this maximizes your DPS and could potentially swing the fight in your favor. W during your ult dash is another mechanic you must perfect. If done properly, you get a guaranteed W hit, again maximizing your DPS output by channeling it during air. I recommend drilling this one in the practice tool, as you need to get the timing right, because for example on level 16 Kaisa ult, dashing from max range, you need to wait a bit before casting it. E stealth. E is another very unique ability with some niche use cases, such as cancelling point click abilities. Beware that if you cancel them, they will go on cooldown though. Works against abilities like Nautilus ulti, Kha'Zix Q, Xante ulti. Very useful. Another use case for your E is to use it aggressively when, for example, coming from behind a wall, or when leaving from a bush. Here I'm waiting for the squint to go for this wave, but this works too. Or when you expect an enemy to walk up on a mid wave. The key is to use it right before entering the enemy vision range. This way you can easily get on top of them. If you execute it correctly, it will look like as if you had appeared out of nowhere for the enemy. Now for your ulti. The most important thing is to get really good at using your ulti to reset your auto. Very big bonus points if you can combine that alongside with slightly repositioning yourself into where you need to be. Waiting for your cooldowns before ulting in. This one is super important as well. In some cases, wait 2 to 3 seconds, your stacks take 4 seconds to run out, wait 2 to 3 seconds before ulting in, as we are waiting for our cooldowns to come back up for the fight. Here is another good example of me being patient. First I traded with my abilities and autos, I forced Karma to use her shield. As her shield runs out and my cooldowns are coming back up, I will ult in before my stacks run out to extend the fight. Making picks. Another big part of Kaisa's kit is the ability to make picks. Here are some examples of how you can make them. Notice in this clip, I have my engaged champion in position. I will not show, however, myself on the top wave because the enemy might suspect I have more people around me if I were to show, right? So I will just hide and wait for the enemy to walk up. Similarly in this clip, since I want my Alistar to be able to engage on the enemy, I will click back in lane as Alistar is channeling his X-Slash, just to bait the enemy AD carry to walk up a little bit more for the Alistar combo range. Most ADCs have very few options when playing from behind. However, what distinguishes Kaisa from the other useless picks is her ability to drop waves when behind and look to gank other lanes. In this clip I hover my bot side, start channeling my base, but since I see enemy Blution actually going to bot lane, I decide to drop the mid wave and look to kill him. That's the end of the video. Of course there are more things I could cover, but my goal with this video was to provide a lot of value in a short span of time. Let me know in the comments what kind of video you would like to see next. Until the next time.